Hello, welcome to the Echo Tips Podcast. I'm David Ward, and our subject for today on the Echo Tips Podcast is about food. That's right, one of our favorites. In fact, you might even hear my tummy a-growling. It's about food. And in particular, we're going to learn about food facts, about information. Maybe you're dieting, diabetes, maybe just trying to cut back on calories or carbs or sugars or, who knows what it might be. There's some pretty cool info you can pull up just using nothing but your voice in your Amazon Echo. But before we get into the details of that and some demonstrations, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then I'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by the New Vision program at Goodwill. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission services help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Hello again and welcome back. I'm David Ward, an instructor with the New Vision program at Goodwill, and it's a pleasure having you listening with us here today, whether you're new to our podcast or you've been listening to for some time. We really appreciate that. And we hope that it's being really helpful and educational for you. Today's episode is about food. Food. Yes, that's right, food. So, in particular, food facts. I have many students that are dealing with health conditions and maybe dieting. Good golly knows I need to diet. Probably I need to lose a few of those pounds I've gained since high school. Just in life in general. But how do you determine those facts? Carbs, sugar, calories, and the like. Well, the Echo has a huge access to a database of info related to all sorts of food. And we're just going to practice some ways in which you can dredge up that information. And you might be able to ask some other queries too, but it gets your mind thinking about things that you can do with your Echo to maybe keep conscious of, the food you're eating, what it has in it, what it doesn't have in it, all that kind of stuff. So first off, before I start demonstrating what you could ask, it would be good to maybe shut off the microphone on your Echo, especially if it's in the same room with you, or especially if you're listening to this tutorial on your Amazon Echo, because otherwise when I'm giving the commands here in studio, it might trick your Echo at home, and she might try to respond, and then it'll be just kind of a mess. But anyway, then you don't want to hear responses both from the recording and from your Echo at home. So on your Echo, if you have a cylinder Echo, you'll reach on the top of it, or a hockey puck size one. There'll be a button, has a silhouetted microphone on it with a slash through it. If you press that, it'll turn the ring red on top, and that means that her ears are off and she won't respond to her name. And I'll give you a second to do that. If you have an Echo with the screen on it, like the one I'm using here today in the studio, if the screen is facing you, the glass front, on the top left rim of the device, you'll have a button, and that also will shut her ears off. It'll make a thump sound when you do it. Okay, so just give you a second to do that. And after you've done that, just give you a second. Okay. All right, so let's find out all about food. All right, so let's give this a try. I think you'll find this really cool. And it really helps you to be health conscious. Alexa, how many calories are in a banana?
One banana has 105 calories.
Okay, now let's move beyond just that. Alexa, how much sugar is in a banana?
One banana has 14 grams of sugar.
Okay, let's see what else we can learn. What about carbs? Maybe you're trying to watch your carbs. Alexa, how many carbs are in a banana?
One banana has 27 grams of carbohydrates.
Okay. All right. And what about something like a vitamin or something I need? Alexa, how much potassium is in a banana?
One banana has 422 milligrams of potassium.
I don't know how much potassium I need. How much do I need? Alexa, how much potassium should I have each day?
Based on a 2,000-calorie diet, the NIH recommends that people older than 4 years of age consume 3,500 milligrams of potassium per day.
Oh boy, it's a lot of...
And I was wondering, did you have to try more than once to get my attention?
Yes.
Thanks for your feedback.
Okay. All right, never had her ask me that before, but she's always advancing. All right, so that's a neat way you can learn a little bit about bananas, but you could try anything. In fact, this might be the more shocking one if you tried something like this. Alexa, how many calories are in a Big Mac?
One McDonald's Big Mac cheeseburger has 563 calories.
Oh boy. Alexa, how much fat is in a Big Mac?
One McDonald's Big Mac cheeseburger has 32.8 grams of fat.
Alexa, how much sugar is in a 20-ounce Coca-Cola?
20 ounces of Coke has 56.4 grams of sugar.
Okay. So now that gives you a little idea. It just doesn't have to be, fruit or vegetables. You can ask about very specific items, especially you think of your run-of-the-mill food items. So that's pretty cool. And also, if you'd like to look back at an episode, we did an episode about a system called Show and Tell that's really designed for the blind on the Amazon Echo that has a camera where it can scan maybe pantry items, like we used a Campbell soup can in that situation. But you can surface a lot of interesting information that way as well. So you might, if you're interested in something like that, you could look back at that episode. But anyway, this just gives you a little idea about how you can surface some of those important details about the things that you're consuming day in and day out. But next time, we're going to deal with recipes. We've discussed recipes in Season 1, but we're going to talk about some easier ways to surface that information now. But until that time, it's time to turn your microphone back on your Amazon Echo, press that button again, start practicing some of the many things that you've learned. And I'm David Ward for the New Vision program, signing off, and we thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. In conclusion, let me tell you a thing or two. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and it is also made possible in part by a grant from Community Foundation serving Western Virginia. And there's more. We're also grateful for the kind use of WVTF Studios. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments living in Southwest Virginia. For more information, check out our website at goodwillvalleys.com/newvision, with no spaces. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving the New River, Roanoke, and Shenandoah Valleys of Virginia. Goodwill's mission programs help individuals with disabilities and disadvantages to get back to work and gain greater independence. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Thanks for listening.